Hello, Rachel from Let's Be Authentic here. I want to talk today about apologies. I don't know if you are anything like me, but hearing simply the phrase "I'm sorry" often doesn't cut it. I mean, unless we're talking about something very small. But when we're talking about real feelings, real impact, what makes an apology a thorough one, a complete one? If it's not saying I'm sorry. In fact, the phrase "I'm sorry" is often used nowadays to just express sympathy. And it can get confusing sometimes when someone says "I'm sorry." It's like, are you taking ownership by saying that? So it becomes a little confusing on its own. So when I think of a real apology, really stepping into acknowledging and being with remorse for something you've done or said, what are the ingredients of that? So in my mind, there's a lot of similarities to reflective listening that I teach, meaning that empathy and validation and even mirroring are great ways to start, great things to include in an apology, when we can really step into what this person's experience is like, what the impact has, done in this person's world. It can really round out the experience of apologizing. And I think there are two ingredients that are key for an apology versus just witnessing, right? Because we can hold space for somebody, empathize and validate, not take ownership because it's not our situation to take ownership for instance, or, agree with their stance because maybe we don't and we just want to be able to hold space for what's true for them. But with an apology, we really are stepping into accountability. We're stepping into ownership. We're acknowledging the impact of our actions and our words. So I think that's a big piece of it, is really naming. I see the impact and I see the way that my actions and my words created that impact. And I think another important ingredient is repair, or how you're moving forward. So if this is a connection or a relationship that you intend on continuing, which most are, I mean, certainly you could apologize to someone that you don't have a intention of continuing with, but because oftentimes it's a repair, it's an opportunity to also name how you will do things differently moving forward. So if you really see the error of your ways and the way you could have shown up better, then it becomes naming that. Sometimes it's even asking, like, hey, how can I show up better for you when this happens again, or if this happens again? And it becomes a collaboration, because sometimes we don't know how we could have shown up better because this is new territory, or obviously if we're getting to know a new person or a new situation, it means that we're also learning. We're always learning though, aren't we? So with an apology, I think if we include empathy and validation, if we include taking ownership and accountability for our impact and exploring what moving forward looks like, that can really create a complete experience as far as really stepping into that apology instead of it just being, oh, I'm sorry. So next time you want to apologize for something that you've done, try this out. Or if there's a recent apology that you have in your memory, think about how you did acknowledge it and if you hit any of these points. And I don't think it's ever too late to revisit it too, If there's somebody that you did a passing "I'm sorry" with and you'd like to revisit it with a more thorough apology, I encourage you to do it, even if it's after the fact, even if it's months later. I bet it would be received better than you think. So those are just my thoughts, and as usual, take what you will and leave the rest. Thanks for watching.